morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Begin with an incense offering. In gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding. Slowly ripening, may we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Someone grab that door. I think it's blown open on us. We're going to get cold real quick. We'll begin as always by ringing the bell 3 times. And we'll let that sound and vibration call us into our bodies, call us into this room, and call us into our practice together. Our invocation is the path clearing and wish fulfilling prayer to Padmasambhava, followed by our refuge prayers said once in Tibetan and then 3 times in English. Dosam Samye Guru Rinpoche Nongro Kunda Deva Chenpo Bache Kunsel Dudu Rakotsel Soal Depso Jinji Latu So Chinang Samwe Bache Jiwadang Sampang Drupa Jinjilo. Precious guide, one with all the Buddhas of the 3 times, blissful presence and source of all spiritual accomplishments, fierce destroyer of illusion who dispels every obstruction, we pray to you for blessing, inspiration, and realization. Please remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles and spontaneously fulfill our aspirations. Sangye chodang tsoki chonam lam jongchu batu dakni kapsu chi dakji jinso ki pei sonam ki Jolar Pinshir Sangye Drupar Shok. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. The great Yogi Milarepa sang, "My body is the holy mandala itself, wherein resides the Buddhas of all times. With their blessings I am freed from all needs and attachments. By day and night I offer them up. Happy am I to do without material things, knowing that all beings in the 6 realms of samsara are inherently Buddhas, and all the 3 worlds the self-creating measureless Trikaya palace. Whatever I do is the play of the Dharma Dhatu, ultimate reality. Whoever I'm with is the Yidam deity. Wherever I stay is the Buddha's abode. Happy am I to forego outer supports, rituals, and symbols." So as we settle into our practice, we'll do a little chanting. We'll chant the last line of the Heart Sutra this morning. No, we won't, actually, because we'll do that a little later. We'll chant Lama Chenno, which translates as calling in the Lama, but you can think of it as awakening the teacher within yourself. And as we chant, pay attention to the making and receiving the sound and vibration. Just focus on that. Focus your breath in becoming the sound and vibration. And we'll do a little meditation, and then we'll have some Heart Sutra together. How about that? Lama Chenno, 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 Lama Lama Chendo, 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 Lama Chendo. Focus your attention gently on your breath. You can utilize this gentle attention as your anchor. Each time you find yourself distracted, just come back to the sensations of your breath without judgment, simply retraining our minds not to think about the past or the future, but to be in this present moment. So as things arise, don't fight them, allow them. Everything that arises settles. So sit back and watch the show, arising and settling. Sit with natural body, not too tight, not too loose, upright, supported. Natural breath and energy, breathing into the lower belly. Focus on your in-breath and relax on your out-breath. And sitting with natural heart-mind, open to the experience, whatever comes. So as we sit, remember there's nowhere else to go and nothing else to do or undo, nothing to fix, fabricate, or manipulate. So we simply sit and breathe and be. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Padme May all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may all be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, and free. May there be peace in this world and throughout all realms of existence, an end to war, violence, poverty, injustice, and oppression, and may we all together complete the spiritual journey. a copy of Thich Nhat Hanh's Heart Sutra. If you didn't get a copy, grab a copy. I'm intrigued by his translation. If you're familiar with the standard translation of Heart Sutra, it can be a little jarring. So this one is a bit softer in its approach and the way that it's written. But I thought I'd take a few minutes to explain it. We haven't done Heart Sutra in a long time. So I thought I'd take a few minutes to just give you some insight on what the Heart Sutra is and what it's used for. So Thich Nhat Hanh offers this translation of the Heart Sutra, which teaches the transcendent wisdom that frees us from fear, wrong perceptions, and suffering. So there's a key word in Buddhism and in the Heart Sutra that's shunyata. It translates as emptiness. Lama Suryadas calls it vast, luminous void. But there's a little bit of a catch in our idea of emptiness and void, because it feels bleak and without. And really what it's getting at is that the sutra typically opens up with all dharmas, which are things and phenomenon, are empty. So eyes, ears, nose, tongues, bodies, minds, all external objects and all Buddhist teachings are empty. And what this really gets at is that it's empty of separateness. So one of the things is, as we get into the foundation of Buddhism in February, I'll teach that most all of these teachings point to one understanding, and that's the first of the Eightfold Path, which is right or wise, complete understanding and view. So when we understand what things are and what they aren't, then we can understand their nature and our nature. And what that attaches to is what's called dependent arising, or dependent origination, meaning that this doesn't happen without this, and without this, and without this. So it's a long line of karmic snowball, if you will. So we don't exist without our parents existing, and without their parents existing, and so on and so forth. And the food that fed them, the water that nourished them, the whatever it took to get us here, that we don't exist without that. And we are not separate from that. Although in our culture, we tend to isolate. We go back to our big homes. We have more square footage, apparently, now than we ever have in history for ourselves. We don't have huge homes and a ton of people living under one roof. We have a family. We don't have a city living in our homes, as many people in the world do, but we tend to isolate and separate ourselves. And there's an interconnectedness that we forget because of that. there's an interconnectedness to our ancestors and even our parents. I know my history with my parents. I certainly have gone through my little rebellious phases of distancing myself and saying, I'm not of that. But I wouldn't be without that. So in a holistic sense, I can look to appreciate that it's with their presence that I exist. So as we go through and read this, you can read along if you like to, or you can listen. When we used to do the Heart Sutra at the other building, I would march us along with the fish drum. We won't do that today. This is a much softer version. Maybe we'll do that one as well here, but not today. So as this was written, this is a discussion. So as you read Shariputra as a person, so listen, Shariputra, this body itself is emptiness. So we'll read this, and then at the end of it is the last line of the Heart Sutra, which is a mantra. This particular sutra comes much later in our history than many of the other sutras, and this is written in mantra form so that it can be a practice, even a daily practice. So as we chant Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Swaha, my teacher translates it as going beyond, thoroughly beyond the beyondest beyond, enlightenment, yes. Thich Nhat Hanh translates it as gone, all the way over, everyone gone to the other shore, enlightenment. So you think about crossing the sea of samsara, you can all cross to the other shore. So as we get to that last line and begin to chant, we will have the opportunity to come up with your little piece of paper and set it ablaze. There's some tongs there if you don't want to put your fingers in the fire, which is probably a wise decision. All right, I'll just start in with this. Avalokiteshvara, while practicing deeply with the insight that brings us to the other shore, suddenly discovered that all of the 5 skandhas are equally empty, and with this realization, he overcame ill-being. Listen, Shariputra, this body itself is emptiness, and emptiness itself is this body. This body is not other than emptiness, and emptiness is not other than this body. The same is true of feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. Listen, Shariputra, all phenomena bear the mark of emptiness. Their true nature is the nature of no birth, no death, no being, no non-being, no defilement, no immaculacy, no increasing, no decreasing. That is why emptiness, body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness are not separate self-entities. The 18 realms of phenomena, which are the 6 sense organs,
the six sense objects, and the six consciousnesses are also not separate self-entities. The 12 links of interdependent arising and their extinction are also not separate self-entities. Ill-being, the causes of ill-being, the end of ill-being, the path, insight, and attainment are also not separate self-entities. Whoever can see this no longer needs anything to attain. Bodhisattvas who practice the insight that brings us to the other shore see no more obstacles in their mind, and because there are no more obstacles in their mind, they can overcome all fear, destroy all wrong perceptions, and realize perfect nirvana. All Buddhas in the past, present, and future, by practicing the insight that brings us to the other shore, are all capable of attaining authentic and perfect enlightenment. Therefore, Shariputra, it should be known that the insight that brings us to the other shore is the great mantra, the most illuminating mantra, the highest mantra, a mantra beyond compare, the true wisdom that has the power to put an end to all kinds of suffering. Therefore, let us proclaim a mantra to praise the insight that brings us to the other shore. Gate, gate, para gate, parasam gate, bodhi swaha. 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 Gate, gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhi, Swaha, Gate, Gate, Aragate, Parasangate, Bodhi, Swaha, Gate, Gate, Aragate, Arasangate, 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 Bodhi, Swaha.
close with the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa and Longchenpa, the prayer for 10 accomplishments, and our bodhicitta dedication. Bless and empower us that our minds and hearts turn toward the Dharma. Bless and empower us that our Dharma practice becomes the path. Bless and empower us that the path truly dispels confusion. Bless and empower us that the confusion itself dawns as primordial awareness, Rigpa. May we all realize true sincerity and integrity, inner purity of mind, dispassionate equanimity toward all we see, right and wise understanding of this dreamlike world and the next, loving compassion toward others and the genuine intention to be helpful in alleviating suffering and confusion. May we directly perceive the truths of impermanence, mortality, and interconnectedness, relinquish wandering thoughts and rampant desires, accomplish freedom of mind and clarity of spirit, remember with gratitude those who have gone before and shown the way, and vow to reach together full and complete enlightenment. Jongchu Semcho Rinpoche Makye Panam Kye